Hey everybody, happynaturalhorse.com. Okay, I'm going to do this again one more time. Hopefully I don't have any interruptions. So, we are talking about Enteroliths. Enteroliths? I don't know how to say it, but that's okay. And what they are stones, so we're going to call them stones. Happynaturalhorse.com, natural equine remedies. I'm here to help you help your horse be healthy and sound, and to teach you everything you need to know about keeping and preventing vet bills. So the reason why we're talking about this today is because we have a little mini here. That's his stones. That's what the stone look. There he is. He's 22 years old. And these are the stones that were carried out from him. But what happened? Let me talk about it. So they don't know why these stones form, or they're trying to take risks to reduce the risk of developing them. But what they have found is that these stones can weigh up to 25 pounds in your horse's intestines, and like a small watermelon. That's pretty big. So, but this was a mini, okay? So a horse can carry 100 or more smaller Enteroliths in the gut, stones in the gut, and may develop only 1 or 2 large ones. Often the small ones are passed uneventfully into the horse's manure, but the larger ones remain dormant, doing very little to harm the horse. But if they aren't to be taken lightly, sometimes the stones can result in recurring mild colics in worst case scenarios, and serious impactions and intestinal ruptures. And I have seen a lot of intestinal ruptures in horses that are over 18 on, and they usually don't live till probably 23 is the latest, 24. And it bursts out on the side. And these are people, from my experience, that didn't want to listen to me about regular grain and things like that. And later on, I found out the horses died, and they died horrible deaths from the rupture of the intestinal walls. The thing is, with the Big Sky minerals, it builds the intestinal wall. It makes the intestinal wall stronger. Why? It has cholesterol in it. And cholesterol, I've learned, because I have diverticulitis, cholesterol helps seal the mucus lining in the gut. It's also a probiotic, and it helps with digestion, but mainly it helps the intestinal wall. So, they really don't understand, but what they've seen is that, horses are always on the ground eating. And if they swallow something that's indigestible, it might be a small piece of rock or gravel. It could work sort of like a dam, and it could be it could be like a backup. Other stuff comes through and then it backs up like a dam. But most of this, the horse will digest it and go through the manure. Now, I don't know about you, but I check my horse's manure probably like 3 or 4 times a week. I'm always kicking their manure. I'm always looking at it. I'm always picking it up. I'm always looking at their manure. And I will tell you a story in a minute, but we got to get through this. So most of them are formed in the right dorsal column, and the area is in an area of greater dimension that the location is called, I can't even say that, apula coli. While the other object sits in the gut, various minerals may begin to, so that's what it is. The minerals will start to stick to it. Now, not the Big Sky, not so much, but other minerals and other feed will stick to it, and then you have sand. It forms into like a pearl, and then grains of sand. And if you're in a sandy area, that's where they mostly see this stuff. In horses, they rarely see it in minis, but for some reason, this mini came from Georgia, and when she doesn't know the full history of the horse's background, and he's 22 years old, so she's had him for 4 years. But I will tell you a couple things about him in a minute. So the actual content depends on the horse's diet and the feed and present in the gut, which can contribute to some calcium and other minerals that be found in the other stones as well. So, as the layers of minerals continue to form, the grows in a size, horse may have only 1 or 2 stones and may produce many, but will shift and rub against each other in his gut. And then the horse will be uncomfortable. This pony, during the years that she's had him, and he's still alive, he's doing good. He did have surgery. He got him removed. But what led up to the surgery is what this video is about. Some certain horses have small ones and some have large ones. It is not common to see horses just with little ones, or more often the big ones are mixed in with the little ones, but the majority are affected just form into 2 or 1 large stone. So while they're still small, may move into the ingesta and then pass harmlessly into the manure, which is what you want. Okay? They may be moved along in the track by feed changes, such as increased fiber. So what is your fiber? Your hay and your grass. That's all my horses get. They get Timothy hay pellets. That's all they get. They get no grain. The pony now is getting, they're getting sunflower seeds because it's cold at night. And when it drops below 30s, I will give them a handful of corn, regular corn, because the corn will keep the heat and keeps them warm at night. I don't blanket my horses. They don't want to be blanketed. I've never have. Don't even blanket the pony. And he's like 32 years old. So stones will remain in place and may grow very large. Now, fortunately for her, these didn't grow. But he had problems drinking water, a lot of water, and he had a hard time pooping. That's your first sign, okay? That's your first sign. If you have a horse that's hardly drinking any water and hardly pooping, my suggestion to you is get an x-ray of that gut. Get an x-ray of that gut and see if you got stones, and save yourself the heartache and find out if he's got stones. And there may be other stuff to help bust him up. Technology is growing so fast, they can bust kidney stones with lasers. They might be able to do the same for the horses, but with this many, he had to have surgery. I don't know. But feeding apple cider vinegar to your horse mixed with water, half and half. You never give straight apple cider vinegar. Feed the Big Sky minerals, and you should be good to go, and forage. Basically, that's the diet. It's so simple. You can find it on happynaturalhorse.com and Natural Equine Remedies. The diet plan is there. Okay? I have many horses now. I've got barns full of 30 horses, 20 horses. I have a lot of brood mares that are on the Big Sky minerals and doing fantastic. Low vet bills, very low vet bills, especially if you don't vaccinate. But this has nothing to do with the stones. The stone is in the environment where the horse is. If there's a lot of little stones, they're going to pick them up and they'll probably ingest them. So, stones in the mid-range, about the size of a softball, but are far more dangerous. So those are the ones that the horse can either die from, or you have to get them surgically removed, which is expensive. So, if the stone is small enough to enter the transverse colon, but too big to pass through the rectum, becomes lodged in place, creating a complete blockage. And that leads to painful impaction colics. And that's really sad. And we'd like to prevent that. So take a look at what you're feeding. You know, you don't eat McDonald's every day, right? If you did, you wouldn't be healthy, okay? So, again, see where you're at. So now I don't like oil, but sometimes you need to give the oil at least once a month if you're in a sandy area. And you know what? It's not going to kill the horse to have castor oil. It's not going to kill the horse to have mineral oil. I would do at least 30 cc's straight into the mouth. Straight into the mouth. And get it through the gut so that he can pass it. You know, get it loose and hopefully pass it. But really, feeding the Big Sky minerals would probably help the best. So, getting back to this. So, this is what she said. So when she got her pony, years ago, he'd always been more dehydrated and not a big drinker. And they had to watch him all the time. His poops indicated a slower transit time. And he also gets really cold all the time. So I think the temperature drop got just got to him. So when she brought him to the vet, it was a classic sign of mild colic. But they were thinking that he didn't drink enough water. It was just a buildup. So after 3 days of not passing any kind of poop, and they were doing ultrasounds, they couldn't really see anything in the ultrasound. They decided to x-ray him. And he wasn't impacted at all. He had 2 stones, which I showed you. Now, is this the vet's fault? No, because the pony was been on Big Sky for the last 4 years. His blood work was beautiful. His vital signs were beautiful. So he threw him off because he was healthier. It was just in his gut that he was discomfort because of those stones. They said everything else is great. He had them kind of stumped because he was showing classic signs of colic. They said he started to form many years ago. So these stones were formed way before she got the pony. But when this was going on during the whole time she owned him, I'm just suggesting that if you got a horse like this, it would save you a lot more time and the horse's time and heartache if you just get the horse x-rayed for stones. And the vet will know where to go and do that. Okay? So he did say they see a lot of these cases from Miami. He thinks it has to do with the water. And yes, mineral plays a role in it. So that's my message for you. You can see the stones right here. Right here. And I don't know where. I would have to go back. But anyways, so and then here is the pony. He's sweet. His name is Romeo. He's so cute. Really cute. When he came out, he's doing really well. And the vet said that now he's got those stones out, he'll be able to poop really great. And he will be able to be a nice little pony for all the people that come to her place. She does a lot of yoga and meditating there for people that want to connect with horses. Okay, happynaturalhorse.com. Just letting you know, share this video with somebody that may be having problems with pooping and dehydration. And what you look for if you're in a sandy lot, if you're in a rocky lot, what to look for. And this horse was on Metamucil every month, and he was on all the stuff because he's like down in Miami. And she knew what she was doing. It's just that it's not her fault. It's not the vet's fault. It's just I'm letting you know that you need to possibly do x-rays and then go from there. Okay? Share the video, make a comment, and like this page. Bye.